Because the kid, remember, if the kid is below the age of 6, 7, 8, depending on the maturity of the child, they don't have the critical factor yet. So what they do is they borrow the critical factor of their parent. So if their parent thinks hypnosis is good for them, they will. And if they do, you got it made in the shade, you know? Everything will go. But unless you get the parent first, the kid is going to be wary. Yes?
When you do a session with a kid, is the parent always involved?
Never.
Really?
Never. The parent, half the time or more, the parent is the problem. So what I do, first you talk to the parent with the kid sitting there, of course. Then you talk to the kid with the parent sitting there, just to get a general overview of what's going on. Then you say to the parent, in front of the kid, this is what I do it. I say, this is confidential. Whatever your child who tells me is confidential. Your child is my client, not you. So what your child tells me, I can't tell you. The kid is impressed. The kid is like, wow, nobody's ever told my mother or my father that before. Nobody's ever been on my side like that before.
But doesn't that cause problems?
Nope. The parent always has, when I've done it, has always said, I understand. That's fine. I say to the parent, you want results, not information. And if you want information, I can't give it to you. And the kid thinks, wow, he's on my side. So then you say to the parent, okay, now you have to leave the room so we can do our session. Okay, see you later, I'll be right out there. Don't worry, I'll be right in the next room. So the kid likes it, first of all. It's like, wow, I'm with an adult. I'm going to have my session without my parent being here. This is better than I thought, better than I hoped. So it's empowering the child. And what you want to do is empower the child. Remember, the parent isn't your client at the moment. We'll talk about that in a moment too. Yeah, right. Exactly. You help the child. First of all, inducing a child. Child doesn't have a critical factor, right? You want to know how to induce a child really easily? Close your eyes. Make believe there's glue on your eyes. And no matter how hard you might try to open your eyes, you won't be able to. Guess what? He's hypnotized. According to many therapists, hypnotherapists, children are hypnotized 100% of the time already. So you don't have to do much to so-called hypnotize them, you know?
Until what age?
Until about the age 6, 7, 8, 9, depending upon the maturity of the child. After that, you can use a regular induction on them, you know. But little children are easy. Once they go into their imagination, the moment they go into their imagination, you got them. And what I like to do with children, you know, children are easy. They'll believe anything. Doctors draw a circle with a pen on their arm and say, this is a magic circle. Anything inside that circle won't hurt, but anything outside that circle will. And they take a needle and they give them the needle right within that circle, and the kid goes, wow, that didn't even hurt. That's fantastic. Well, what I like to do is give them a rock and tell them this is a magic special rock. Now remember, the kid's hypnotized. Anytime you, I don't know whatever is the kid's problem, anytime you feel anger, anytime you feel like, you know, your parents are being mean to you, or anytime you feel like you're being bullied in school and picked on, take this rock, which I want you to carry in your pocket all the time. Take this rock and hold it in your hand, even in your pocket. Just close your hand around it. It'll give you the strength you need to feel confident or whatever you want to say. You know? Right, right. It's a post-hypnotic suggestion that says these suggestions will always take place, but when you grab the rock, they'll be even stronger. The kids love that. They love that. They feel empowered. I have control over it. It's not you. It's not my parent. It's me. And for many children, this is the first time in their life they have control over anything. And believe me, they love it. And it's very simple, you know. You just go to a rock store, and for a couple of bucks you buy a dozen of these, you know. And it's simple. Or you walk along the street, you look for rocks that don't look like every other plain rock. And there are a lot of those. Maybe a rock that's white, or a rock that has a little red in it or something, you know. You pick it up and you say, okay, this is one of the magic rocks. And every time you go to do a session with a kid, you just grab a few. And what I like to do is I like to set out 4 of them and have the child choose which one they want. Okay, which rock do you think is the most useful to you? Which rock do you feel the most energy from? And the kid is even more empowered because he's choosing it. Or she, of course, is choosing the rock.
Can you give us a crystal?
Yeah, you can give crystals, but that's more expensive, of course. You know, you can do that with anything. You can do that with anything. But I like to use a physical object instead of a mental object, like a word or the sight of the color red or something like that. You know, which also would work with the children very well. But you use a physical object. Like you have a script there in this packet, bedwetting, okay? Now generally the reason kids wet the bed is not weak bladder muscles. Very few children have that problem. What most people what most children wet the bed for is insecurity. The rock can help them with that. Because as they feel secure during the day, their confidence level rises. And even in their sleep, they feel more secure and more confident. And they have less of a chance to wet the bed. So it's good for anything you do with kids. Overcoming difficult situations like divorce or death, self-esteem, anything. This can strengthen. It's a wonderful, wonderful object. And when kids are finished with their session, do you know what they do? They give you a hug. Always. They love it. Is he drunk?
I don't know. By the time you're done, he's...
I know, right? They love hypnosis. They love you. They love the fact... And you tell them, by the way, you tell them, your mother loves you very much. She brought you here so you could do this for yourself. She brought you here because she wants you to feel better about things. So it's like, you know, at the same time that you're instilling confidence in the child through themselves, you're also instilling confidence in the child that they're loved. Even if they don't recognize it, sometimes they don't. Even if they don't recognize it, you're instilling confidence that they're loved.